we have our rectangular prism with a circular hole. We're going to go back in and add 2 hexagonal holes on either side of the main circular hole. So one thing that's going to help us do this is a feature of Solidworks. Whenever you hit the down arrow, you see whatever sketch where the feature, in this case, the extrude, came from. So if you click on sketch 1, it'll highlight that original sketch that we made of the rectangle. And if you hit the down arrow and hit sketch 3 on the next, it'll do the same. And so, but we could make another sketch on this face, but what's going to be easiest is if we go back in and edit sketch 1. So we're going to right click, hit edit sketch. And here we have it, our original circle with the 40 millimeter, original face with the 40 millimeter circle. I can't talk, blah. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to sketch a couple lines. And one thing that's important to do and that's going to help us a lot is the construction line feature. SolidWorks isn't going to make any features off of this line. It's not going to extrude anything or cut anything, but they can be super, super useful when you're trying to dimension other parts correctly. So first we're going to do a center line going across the width of the part for construction, and this will be useful later. Hit escape to get out of the line menu, and we're going to go back. We're going to hit center line for construction. We're going to start on the outer edge of the rectangle and work in until we hit the diameter of the circle. And SolidWorks is really useful in that it gives you these kind of, oh, that didn't work. Let's try that again. SolidWorks is really useful in that it gives you these guide points, which can be super, super helpful if you're trying to figure out where things connect. So for example, I don't have to guess where the diameter of the circle is. I can just press this button and it automatically finds it. Sweet, so now we have our center line. So this is the center point between the outer edge of the prism and the circle. And we're gonna go in, we're gonna hit polygon. We want a hexagon, so 6 sides, that's perfect. And now we're gonna find that center line, click once to start making the polygon, and click again. So here we have it, a polygon. Once again, to define it, we're going to hit Smart Dimension. We're going to define it off of the inner circle. So we want 20 millimeters here. And now what I would really like for this side right here to be parallel to the outer side of the part. And you can do that by adding a relation. So hit down here, add relation. Click this line, the one that we want to be parallel to the outer face. And then we'll go ahead and click the outer face. Well, if that works. Let's try this again. I'm going to click here. And to make sure we're getting the right part, we'll click here. Sweet. Okay, so now we're going to add the parallel relation. Now the rectangle, the hexagon has turned black, which means it's fully defined and it's parallel. So that is exactly what we want. Now, before we exit our sketch to extrude cut, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to hit mirror entities. So we could, if we want a rectangle on either, or a hexagon, excuse me, on either side, we could just start from scratch and do the same thing on the other side, or we could use the mirror tool, which is extremely useful if you're going to create a bunch of the same parts on one plane. So for entities to mirror, we're going to go ahead and click all 6 sides of our hexagon. And for mirror about, we're going to click this construction center line we did earlier. And now you'll see in yellow, the hexagon on the other side shows up. So hit the green check. Perfect. Okay, we're going to exit the sketch. And because it didn't show up on our cut extrude, but we can fix that. We're going to go to edit feature and click, this isn't working.